Hello, my name is Sandra Blabl. I am a hypnotherapist in Switzerland, OMNI hypnosis instructor in Germany, and I am the developer of the HypnoSlim concept and training. When I started as a hypnotherapist, I specialized on weight management. And I never talk about weight loss, because when we lose something, that is always something negative for our subconscious mind. And normally we are happy to get back what we lost. But that's not the case with the weight. And a lot of people who lost weight get it back, and sometimes more than they lost. So I always talk about weight management or weight reduction. So when I started to specialize on weight management, I had a lot of clients coming to see me, and then when they were here and we were talking about their story and the medical story, they often told me that they are diagnosed with diabetes type 2. And a lot of people can't believe that hypnotherapy can help with diabetes type 2, but it can, of course, and we can do a lot with hypnosis to support these people. You as a hypnotherapist can help these clients a lot, and I am going to explain in this video how you can do that. So just before I go into the hypnosis part, I want to give you a short explanation what diabetes type 2 is. Most of the people who have a diagnosis with diabetes is type 2. So, what is diabetes type 2? That's basically an insulin resistance. So, to understand that, I'm going to explain what happens in our body with this insulin resistance. So, normally when you eat carbohydrates, let's call them carbs, then the blood sugar goes up. That is a sign for the pancreas to release insulin to the blood. And the job of the insulin is to bring this blood sugar, that's called glucose, into the cells. Every single one of all our millions and millions cells in our body needs this blood sugar, this glucose. That's our energy. That's the energy for every single cell in our body. And every cell has so-called receptors. And you can imagine these receptors as doors. And insulin is the door opener. So only with the help of insulin, this glucose can find its way into our cells. So a lot of people now develop this insulin resistance, and that means that these receptors, the doors to the cells, don't work good enough. They get weak, and some of them start to stay closed. Now, we are lucky that every cell has several of these receptors of these doors. Otherwise, if one of these doors wouldn't open, then the cell would starve. And that would be very, very bad. But imagine if a cell, one single cell, has several of these receptors, and some of them don't work properly. So, does it get enough energy of this glucose then? Well, no. So that means that the cell gets weaker. So the insulin just wants to open the door, it goes to the receptor, but the door stays closed. And what does that mean? That means that the blood sugar stays in the blood, or too much of this blood sugar stays in the blood, and insulin can't do its job. So that is what insulin resistance means. So what can we do now? How can we help these clients? Well, the first and most important thing what you can do for these people is weight reduction. Bring down the weight. Help them to bring down the weight, because when the weight goes down, automatically the amount of blood sugar in average goes down too. So that's very important, and most of the clients with diabetes type 2 are overweight. So that's the first thing you have to do. And so help them with doing regression to cause. I had hundreds and hundreds of people, of clients in my practice with overweight. If they had diabetes or not, it doesn't matter. But every single client had a cause for overeating. And just imagine the following. Being overweight is only the result of the symptom overeating. And you have to find the cause why these people are overeating, why they are eating too many sweets, too much carbs, and so on. So find the cause, do regression to cause and solve that. Do the inner child work, do the forgiveness work, do a lot of compounding of suggestions and the progression work. So that's the basis of the weight management. And I'm going to repeat. When the weight goes down, the average blood sugar goes down too. So that's the most important thing, how you can help. Then there is another big thing, great support, and that is stress management. So what does stress have to do, or how is stress connected to being overweight? And there is a really, really strong connection. So when we people have chronic stress, and it doesn't matter what kind of stress that is, that can be stress in our job, with the family, financial problems, health problems, and so on. So when we are in a chronic stress, then our adrenal glands produce a lot of cortisol. Cortisol is one of our stress hormones. And now that what I explain now is going back to the evolution, how we function since hundreds and hundreds of years. So back then, when there was a danger, we needed energy, and our fight or flight system was kicked, it was started. So when we have to fight or to run away, we need energy. So it wasn't possible back then, hundreds of years, to eat a sandwich or some pasta or something else to get this energy. So our body has its own stores of sugar, and one of these stores is our liver. One of the other stores are our muscles. So now when cortisol goes up because of this chronic stress, our body thinks we are in danger and we need energy. So the liver, for example, releases the sugar that is stored there to the blood. And what does that mean? The blood sugar goes up. Now, the blood sugar not only goes up when we eat carbs, but also when we have chronic stress. And so when the blood sugar goes up, the pancreas again releases insulin, because the pancreas doesn't know why the blood sugar is going up. And it can't distinguish if it's because we ate some carbs or why we have stress. So now the blood sugar goes up, the insulin goes up, but the insulin can't put all of this sugar into the cells, so insulin is high and blood sugar is high and still cortisol is high. And now there is another very, very important information. Cortisol is a hormone that stores fat, and insulin is also a hormone that stores fat. So what does now that mean? In this process of chronic stress, we have two hormones who that store the fat in the cells, or they prohibit the existing fat cells to release the fat, to give it away. So that makes it very, very hard for people to reduce their weight when they have chronic stress. And that is the reason why it is so important for overweight people in general, and especially for people with diabetes type 2, to reduce the stress. So teach them self-hypnosis and explain them why that is so important. And if you want to have detailed information about the function of cortisol and insulin, just Google that. The internet is full of good information on that for you to understand it better, to have more information. Because when you can explain that to your clients, they understand it, and then they will do that, because the people know that stress is not good. Everybody tells that, and they know that, but explain them why. And then they are compliant, and then they are happy that they can support their weight management and everything that is necessary to bring down the blood sugar. So then ask your clients if they have chronic pain. A lot of overweight people have pain in their knees, for example, or back pain, or maybe migraine, headaches, and so on. So pain, chronic pain, that makes stress. That is a stressor, a very strong stressor for the body. And here again chronic stress is bad for people with diabetes type 2. So do also pain management. Then ask your clients about their sleeping habits. Do they sleep enough? And is the sleep good and deep? Because sleep that is too short or bad, that is again stress for the body, for the whole system. So if they have problems with sleeping, help them with hypnosis. Again, teach them self-hypnosis. Teach them how to relax before they go to sleep, and what they can do when they wake during the night to sleep again. So help them with sleeping better. And then also ask for other emotional stresses. Emotional stresses can be often feeling angry, or feeling alone, or feeling guilty because of something. And all these emotional stresses, the word stressor says it, they make them the stress. So we can't help the people to change the problems, to reduce the stress in the job, or in the family, or the financial problems, but we can help them to cope better with that. So ask your clients for all possible stresses they have, and then show them how they can cope with that, because all that stress is very, very bad. So now you see, you can do a lot for your clients with diabetes type 2. Again, I give you a short summary. Do weight management or weight reduction, because when the weight goes down, the average blood sugar goes down too. Do stress management, pain management, sleeping management, and all these emotional stresses, help them to cope with that, and all that together helps to bring down the blood sugar. And of course, the eating habits are very, very important. The type 2 diabetes client, they should go for a low carb diet. Not no carb, that's not good, but low carb. They should eat protein 3 times a day with enough vegetable and salad, and of course they can eat potatoes or whole corn rice, for example, and the unprocessed carbs are okay. Not too much, but unprocessed carbs, they are also very necessary. They are healthy, but they shouldn't eat all these processed carbs and sugar, as all the sweets and bread and pasta and bakery and so on. And of course, no sugared drinks and so on. The best is still water, and that helps them to bring down the blood sugar too. And you help them with hypnosis to stick with this diet, because that's should not be a temporary diet, but something for the rest of their life. Because when they do that, when they change the eating habit, when they do the stress management, and you help them with all that we discussed in the last minutes, then it is possible that they never have to take medication. And if they take medication when they come to see you, it is possible that to get away from that. And of course, when they don't need it anymore, they have to discuss that with the medical doctors, of course, but it is possible. And even if they already use insulin, then it is also possible that they don't need that anymore. So, of course, it is very important that the clients are compliant, that they are willing to change the eating habits and do the stress management, stress reduction techniques, do the self-hypnosis. And what is very good for these people is some kind of exercise. It shouldn't be too much and too strong or heavy, but exercise 3 times or 4 times a week, half an hour, maybe swimming or cycling, or just walking a bit faster than normal is very, very good for them. And you can help them with hypnosis, of course, that are motivated to do that. Okay, so do regression to cause, do everything you need to do to solve the cause, do the inner child work, do the forgiveness, do a lot of compounding suggestions and the progression, give them motivation to exercise, do the pain management if necessary, sleep, help them to sleep better if necessary, and eliminate all these negative emotions they have maybe for years or much longer, to get rid of them. And now tell me again, hypnosis does not help with type 2 diabetes. And now go out, do marketing for that, and I wish you a lot of success, a lot of fun, a lot of clients, and see you sometimes in Brazil. Bye.